Now, this is something called the fasting calendar. It's usually provided for free and sometimes sponsored by different brands, like this one is by. And it tells you what time you break your fast, and you start your fast every single day. And it usually keeps changing. But this year, every day we seem to break the fast at the same time at 6:35. But the fast starting is kind of shifting from 4:55 all the way to 4:40. It can change depending on which mosque you're going to by like 2-3 minutes. Welcome to day 58. Now, the hardest part to train with the back recovery is obviously the legs. And with fasting, it is going to be even harder, like double trouble, because it's the largest muscle group of the body and demands way more energy to be executed properly. There's a lot of moving parts, yeah? So I can't really push it to post iftar sessions, because iftar is basically when you break your fast in the evening around sunset, if you didn't know. Because when you're fasting all day and then you eat even the smallest morsel of food or even the shortest glass of drink, it's going to make you feel completely satiated so quickly to the point where any strenuous activity is out of your head psychologically. You're going to just want to sit and relax. Perhaps you could do some light work and then you could do your prayers and all of that, but training is going to be a huge mental challenge. And I also do a lot of work after breaking my fast. That way I conserve a lot more energy in the morning to push it to the training that usually happens just before breaking. So, yeah. The time is a little past 8 and I had to quickly run after the post-workout meal or first meal of the day to the office because I had a client call coming up and I cannot delay that. And if that did get delayed, then I might have to delay my prayers, and I can't do that because I go to the masjid for the prayers. I don't do it at home. I had some yummy biryani rice, some greens, spinach, and classic egg whites along with that. And of course, threw in a few dates. I think I have like 3 or 5 dates depending on how I feel for every single day when I break my fast. Now, the thing with leg days is the problem that obviously when you're praying, the soreness kind of hits you real hard, and then it's a long prayer as well. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a challenge, and especially with the back, I'm just getting the body accustomed to being able to bend without radiating pain or i.e. sciatica. Cool, I'll finish that and then we'll have a bit of a discussion. And we are back. Okay, what do we have right there? We have the same meal, except I'm adding cabbages instead of spinach, and of course the same egg whites, biryani rice, and of course just a small bit of lamb for that extra flavor. It was made at home, but yeah, I did not plan on including it, but then I figured might as well throw it in because our food volume is anyway very low, given that we are having quick meals in a very short window. And let's talk about motivation, especially if you're fasting. See, whenever we fast, we are always under the psychological perception that our body is technically weak because there's lesser nutrition flowing in, which is understandable. And physically as well, we do feel that slight dip in overall enthusiasm in that fasting period, especially for the initial couple days. The mid-range is pretty good because our body has really adapted, and the last 10 days of the 5 days, once again, we get really, really tired, which is completely physiological. Like, it's understandable. You just kind of end up eating lesser food in general because of the smaller eating window. Kind of why intermittent fasting works, but a lot of people think it's the magic. No, you just end up eating lesser food because there's a shorter eating window. Beyond all of this, you need to truly picturize this world where nothing exists that is a potential distraction. In my case, of course, I'm not trying to say I'm some great motivational speaker or some example for being crazy, unbelievably consistent beyond lifestyle obstacles. No, I'm a regular average Joe, except I do have some experience in terms of beating such consistency-oriented obstacles repeatedly, and have coached a few hundred people to understand that basically when someone is completely drenched in solitude, they tend to perform in a certain way which reflects the best version of themselves. Now, I live in a joint setup. Rare scenarios, you will find a lot of people where they have to live alone because they work in a different city. those individuals usually have very less distraction, especially when they're chasing a fitness goal. And they'll not have to worry about running into the dining table accidentally and finding, greasy, delicious food, especially, which is common around the time of fasting in Muslim households. And, trying to jump into that. And obviously, the cravings will be extremely high when you're fasted for the whole day. So for them, that is out of the picture. So it kind of becomes easier. And generally, when you sit and chill with people, chill with folks or whatever, we tend to get into this comfort zone where we think lesser about the struggle and the striving towards your goal, and more towards relaxation and just leisure in general, which is fine. But when push comes to shove and it is the moment to go and train, and you don't absolutely feel like getting off the couch and everything around you seems to just push you and ask you to relax, isolate yourself. Now what I do is mentally shut off and just imagine myself in a place where it's just me, an empty room, and my goal lies ahead and I gotta go get it. For a moment, if you isolate yourself and truly align your perspectives, you will realize how important it is to go get what you have to get done to have your long-term goal not get delayed in you getting to it. Lovely. Unlike the last 2 days, I do intend to somehow make it to the morning meal. I've been kind of messing with my sleep cycle because, the initial days of Ramadan are always kind of like that. So the last 2 days, I haven't really had my morning meal properly. I even forgot to drink water this morning. That was terrible. So this time, let's fix that. I do have the meal planned ahead as well. And positively, I should wrap up work pretty soon. And that's when I'll catch you. And now, I'll go send out some transformation plans. So for the final meal, it's going to be a bunch of egg whites, one dosa with 2 whole eggs, and a little bit of lamb, part of which was also there in the previous meal. Now technically this is the next morning. The time is a little past 5 if I'm right. I was super sleepy when I woke up. Didn't even have the motor vlog, but after eating and after washing up, it definitely feels a bit fresh. Yeah, have enough enthusiasm to hold the camera up. Sadly, this is where we close the vlog, and I'll start it once again later in the evening today when we jump into the weight room. Have a lovely day. Technically for you, it's Nalike Pakla, but for me, it's later in Nike Pakla.